Good afternoon, everybody. This afternoon's proceedings will be live streamed after a 10-minute delay. Those with mobile devices may use them to report what they hear in the hearing room, but only after 10 minutes have elapsed since the event that's being reported. They may not be used for photography or recording. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Could we have up from tab C203 MPS 0019012, please? Mr. Soracchi, before lunch we were looking at a report from the end of 2000 about an individual's plan to stand in a council election. This is a report from the 19th of May 2003, attributed to you, about Joe Batty and council elections. I'll give you a moment to look at it, but it's to the effect that Mr. Batty is planning to stand as a councillor in the City of London.
So,
why did you report this information?
from memory, it would have been indicative of Mr. Batty's political beliefs and his nature. And that, as I say, I wasn't actually told what I had to go out. I was told to report back anything I picked up. And this would have been one of those cases.
I mean, there is some threshold, isn't there? You don't report every little bit of tittle-tattle that you hear.
No, absolutely. There is a threshold, but this would have been considered by my back office something that might be worthy of note.
Did you give any consideration to the propriety of an undercover police officer reporting on the democratic process?
I was deployed against political groups. So everything that I reported back, if it came from that kind of environment, I would have put it in. It was not for me, I'm afraid, to decide whether it should be turned into an intelligence report or not. I just reported the information in my debriefs with my cover officers, and they would then formulate what we see before us here. I had no bearing on where it went or if it went in.
Can I take that answer as a no to my question?
Yes, sir. My apologies.
If we take that down now, can we have up from tab C52 MPS 0004974? This is 11th of January 2001. Give you a moment to read it, but it's about the negotiating committee in the Hackney dispute, which was going to negotiate with Hackney Council.
Okay, sir.
In the context of an industrial dispute, why, as an undercover police officer, are you reporting who has been elected to negotiate on behalf of the workers?
As I've said, sir, I would pick up information, I would feed it back to my cover officers. They never told me not to report back these things, so that's what I did.
Was it because the person concerned was a member of MFJ?
No.
Was it because the person concerned was a steward with the TGWU?
No.
What was it that took it over the threshold that you applied for reportable material then?
Well, we talk about my threshold. My threshold, my instructions were anything you hear and pick up, you report back at your debriefs, and we will then decide whether that is of value or not. As I say, I never typed these reports. I would go back and be debriefed, and they would go from there.
Can you recall what was said about this information when you were debriefed on it?
No, sir.
Do you know what was done with this intelligence?
Again, as I say, I generally reported. My intelligence went back to the public order desk, and as I say, there was an extreme left-wing desk at the time. I assumed it went there.
This isn't about public disorder, and what I'm driving at is, do you know whether this information was shared with Hackney Council?
No idea. I wouldn't have thought so. As I say, I can't see the protective marking, but as far as I was aware, we didn't share anything. It went to the desk and that was it.
Even in a sanitised form?
I don't know.
Can we take that down, please? Could we have up MPS 0748834? This is a report from the 9th of November 2000 about Operation Tippet and a meeting of the Lambeth Police Consultative Committee. If we look at page 1, the first paragraph, just to help you orientate what this was about.
Okay.
Were you at this meeting?
No.
Are you sure of that?
Yeah, certain. Well, I have no recollection of it. I'm trying to work out why I might have been there, but no. I was not there.
In the light of that answer, if we can zoom out, I'll give you a moment to look at that report. And the question I'm going to ask you is this your reporting or reporting based on information you have submitted?
I don't think I wrote that report, sir. I don't recognise any of it.
Thank you. Can we take that down? Can we have from tab C23, MPS 0004301? This is a report dated the 16th of October 2000. It's attributed to you. It's about a civil rights march on the 14th of October 2000. I'll give you a moment to read it.
Yes, sir.
Did you attend that march?
No.
How did you obtain this intelligence then?
This would have been from conversations in some kind of social setting.
This is a report after the event, 2 days after. Why report on a demonstration after it has happened, if it's passed off peacefully?
Because again, it indicates a mood and what might happen. It also informs a policing plan for any further events. That would have been my only reason for that. But again, we would have spoken about this when I was being debriefed by my cover officers. They would have formed the intelligence report from that.
The National Civil Rights Movement was a movement that had emerged as out of the Stephen Lawrence campaign, the Stephen Lawrence inquiry, wasn't it?
If you say so, sir, yes.
Was there a racial dimension to the work of the national civil rights movement?
But I have no idea. I had no involvement with them.
If we could take that down now, please. Can we have up your witness statement, 35550, page 139. Paragraph 293.9. This is a section of your statement when you're being asked questions about HN81. I was not aware of the allegation that he had been reporting on the Lawrence Justice campaign until this featured in the media expose. I do have a recollection at the time of my deployment of HN81 mentioning at one of the twice weekly meetings of his target group, I think MFJ, coming into contact with the Stephen Lawrence campaign. Yeah. So in relation to this, can you help us with what was discussed at this bi-weekly meeting in relation to the Stephen Lawrence campaign?
I'm afraid I can't, sir. I can't remember. I just would have been something that might have been discussed, but I couldn't tell you about the contents of that. I can't remember.
Was the Stephen Lawrence campaign something that cropped up at these meetings from time to time?
Other than this occasion, sir, I don't recall that it used to pop up a lot. As I say, HN81 left the field quite early on in my deployment.
Can you recall discussion of MFJ?
Other than when I met him for coffee and for him to sort of talk me through things, not really, no.
Could we take that down now, please? Could we have from tab C24, MPS 0004316? This is a prospective report dated the 20th of October 2000 about a trip the following day to Margate to confront, it says, the National Front who were going to demonstrate there. Mm-hmm. Did you go to Margate on the 21st of October 2000?
I don't think I did. I don't recall going to Margate around that time.
This is this connected to the Socialist Party rather than the SWP?
Yes, it is, in that the Socialist Party had the link into what was then called No Platform.
Can you help us with, given the date, it was quite early in your deployment, yes, how quickly you moved from the SWP to the Socialist Party?
Very quickly, as is shown from that report, sir.
And was it a sudden transition or a gradual transition?
I would say sudden.
And was the catalyst for that transition the formation of No Platform?
I would say yes, because obviously my handlers were interested in groups of this kind.
If we can take that down now, please. If we could have up from tab C37, MPS 0004664. This is one of a number of reports about the Remembrance Day protests, the National Front wreath laying and the counter demonstration against that on the 12th of November 2000. This particular report is after the event, and I put it up so you can look at it and see what was reported as an account of events on the day.
Yes, sir.
Were you there on the day?
Yes.
Can you recall there being any disorder?
Other than what was related to me when we all came back together at the end of the day, I did not personally see any disorder. We were split up into groups.
You seem to have put some emphasis on the presence of a police photographer.
Yes.
Would we be right to understand you as saying the presence of the police photographer had done a lot to deter trouble?
I think that was my opinion at the time, yes.
Would it be right in thinking that at any major demonstration or counter-demonstration you would expect the Metropolitan Police Service to deploy a photographer?
Yeah, if it was a big enough event, yes. I think it was still is a tactic as far as I'm aware.
Can we take that down now, please? Can we have up from tab C34, MPS 0004660? This is about the same demonstration. It says Dan Gilman received at least 5 telephone calls from a representative of Searchlight. The caller relayed information to Gilman concerning the location and numbers of right-wing activists in the area. Gilman tended to corroborate the information from his own spotters prior to instigating any action. Were you present when Mr. Gilman received any of these telephone calls?
I think I was present on a couple of occasions when we were forming up in public houses. I can't remember if it was all 5, but that would have been again related to me at some stage.
How did you know that the calls were from Searchlight?
I believe that's the term that would have been used at the time. I wouldn't have just plucked that out of thin air, so to speak. I would have had to have heard that, and that's what I would have reported back.
And on what basis were you able to report that Mr. Gilman tended to corroborate the information from his own spotters?
We would have spotters deployed in the area. There would be further phone calls between Mr. Gilman or other members of the group, asking them to check things out.
What action is being referred to at the end of that report?
To confront them, at very least.
Were they confronted?
As I say, I never witnessed anything, but I heard back that some people might have had a confrontation, but I never saw nothing at that stage.
How certain are you that Mr. Gilman was speaking to a representative of Searchlight?
I'm certain from the point of view, sir, that that's what I would have heard being said. I didn't actually speak to them, so I cannot say 100%, but that's what I would have heard being said.
Might you have been mistaken?
I don't believe so.
Can we take that down, please? And can we have up from tab C50, MPS 304904? This is a report from the 19th of December 2000. It's about a demonstration outside the Cock Public House in Euston. I'll give you a moment to read it.
Yes, sir.
Were you there?
No, I was driving to get there, but I never actually made it there in time.
Are you able to help us with what the attack on the right-wing demonstration amounted to?
Certainly from my memory and understanding, they were able to infiltrate into the right-wing march through side streets and obviously, as a result of that, they were able to get past the police that were marching alongside it, and some kind of melee ensued.
And presumably the basis for your intelligence was what you were told
Yes.
by others?
Yes.
And in what terms was this melee described?
A fight.
Are you able to help us whether this was just shouting abuse from a distance or whether this involved trading blows?
I can't help you that. I was not there, sir.
Could we take that down now, please? Could we have up from tab 53, MPS 304991. This is the 13th of January 2001, and if we could have the text expanded. Give you a moment to read that, but please pay particular attention to the second paragraph.
So, yes, sir.
Were you present in the Wetherspoons public house opposite Balham Tube Station on the day?
Yeah, pretty certain I was, sir, yes.
And the part of the report which reads, when the National Front failed to appear, Gilman telephoned a privacy of the National Front in order to goad him about their non-appearance. How did you know about that telephone call?
I think I was sat at a table in the pub when the phone call was being made.
Can you help us with how Mr. Gilman would have the telephone number of a member of the National Front?
I'm afraid I can't, sir. No.
I'm asking because Mr. Gilman denies having done this.
The only reason I could give as to why Mr. Gilman might have the phone number is obviously political groups like that would have had a phone number that could be rung regarding rendezvous points. All I can think is Mr. Gilman had that number, which again would have come in through some kind of intelligence gathering. I don't know what.
How certain are you that Mr. Gilman made a call of the kind described in this report?
The call was definitely made. I cannot 100% say that it was made to the NF, but I recall the conversation, and I recall the conversation we had as a group afterwards about where they were.
And what was the nature of that conversation?
I couldn't remember, sir. It was about where the NF were and why they hadn't turned up.
What form did the goading take?
I think it was sort of swearing and challenging from memory, but again, we are talking quite a while ago. If I was going to, I'd say lads talk.
Can we take that down now, please? Can we have from tab C56, MPS 305368? This is a report dated the 19th of January 2001 about an event that's believed to be planned for the 3rd of March 2001. If you look at the first paragraph, you'll see an introduction to the issue. And the second paragraph says that the intention of the two groups is to remain in the vicinity of where the right wing are holding their protest in the hope that they may ambush some of their rivals. Did you, in the result, attend the event on the 3rd of March 2001?
I think I did. I certainly, it reads as if something that I would have gone on, but I couldn't tell you cities, but yes, I think I did.
Can you help us, first of all, at this early stage in January, what discussion about an ambush, had there been?
It would have been planning to disrupt the movement and actions of the National Front activists or the right-wingers. That's what it would have amounted to.
To disrupt, does that mean it may not have involved physical violence?
Well, it would have involved confrontation, which if it then turned into physical violence, that was part and parcel of the, I don't really want to say game, but that was part and parcel of what the group did.
I understand the distinction that you're drawing there. Can I take you to the day itself? What actually happened?
I can't remember, sir. There would have been lots of people out and about. I think we would have spent our time sort of looking for opposition activists.
Was there an ambush?
I can't remember, sir. I wasn't involved in any, I don't think.
Could we take this down now, please? Can we have up from tab C62, MPS 405529? Got a feeling that might in fact be 3 zeros, so if you can't find one with 4, try 3. Thank you. This is 19th of March, and it is about the Beckton Council election, and it reports on plans for election day, Thursday the 29th of March. It says the intention is to be present for the evening count to disrupt proceedings for the BNP candidate. Activists are intending to single out the BNP security team for attack. Did you attend the count in the Beckton election on the 29th of March?
Yes.
What happened?
I think it was quite well policed. I can recall that we spent time going around the area looking for people, but my recollection is that the BNP were already inside the council chambers. Don't think we got near them. There were police around, obviously, because they attracted that sort of coverage.
Does that mean no violence and no disorder?
Not there, no. I think there was violence that night, but that was in another place, and I don't know that it was directed politically, even though I think that was used as the excuse.
Are you able to help us with whether or not your intelligence assisted the police response, or whether simply because it was a BNP candidate standing in Beckton, it would be obvious that there needed to be a big police presence?
I like to think it would have been a combination of the two. However, you would have to direct that to the people who received that intelligence from me.
If we take that down now, please, could we have up from tab C66, MPS 305536? This is a report also dated the 19th of March 2001, and it's about fitness training being undertaken by Mario, Joe Batty, Steve Headley, someone who we're keeping anonymous, and Forzia, said to consist of circuit training at a boxing club near Batty's address in Peckham. Mm-hmm. Source comment, the group has been in training for the past 4 weeks and believes it will be useful in any confrontation with the fascists. Did you attend these training sessions?
No, sir.
How did you know about them?
The people concerned talked about them.
The evidence that this inquiry has received was to the effect that the boxing club in question was in fact in East London, not South London. May that be right?
It could be. I don't know.
And is it right that Mr. Headley was a member of this boxing club?
Again, I don't know. I know he was a boxer, so entirely possible.
You got to know Mr. Headley reasonably well, didn't you, during your deployment?
Yes.
He'd been a boxer for a very long time, hadn't he?
I think so. I only ever saw him box the once.
Mr. Batty either was or had been a rugby player,
I think we talked about him playing rugby league, yes.
and he was brought up in a tough part of Manchester.
Again, yes, that's what I was told.
He didn't need to learn how to fight, did he?
I think he could fight, yes, from what I saw.
On the other hand, Fawzia would run from trouble.
I'm trying to remember who Fawzia is. Are they in here?
Mr. Batty's partner.
Ah, right. I don't know. I couldn't really expand on that.
The evidence we've received is that there was very little such training, either
Yep.
one session or a very small number of sessions. Might that be right?
Absolutely. As I've said there in my comment, I think it fizzled out basically, but it certainly happened a few times, but I never bothered attending.
What was the basis for reporting a belief that it would be useful in any confrontation with the fascists?
Well, that's what was said to me by the activists.
Respecting privacy, which activist?
I couldn't remember exactly, sir.
If it was suggested that this report rather exaggerates something very mundane, what would be your response?
I disagree with that because that was definitely said to me. But at the same time, if that's what people want to argue, fine, but I don't agree with that.
Could we take that down now, please? Could we have from tab C67, MPF 305537? This again from the 19th of March 2001, is a report to the effect that Mr. Gilman had been given a compact disc of the AFA's photographs of people from the far right. Can you help us with the basis for reporting this information?
The basis for that, I think, would have come from conversations that took place between myself and those activists.
Did you actually see this CD?
I don't remember seeing it.
Did you see the photographs?
Might have seen some of them at some stage, but again, I can't really remember, sir.
Do you know what was done with the CD?
Not after it was spoken about in this thing. I think it may have been used when we were out, but I never saw it. I was not a spotter. I was not given this disc or prints from this disc to look at.
Does that mean when you say may have been used, that's a matter of supposition?
I don't know, is the honest answer. I don't recall seeing them. Other than this conversation and maybe seeing a disc, I don't recall anything else.
Do you know whether or not the photographs did enable no platform to identify any members of the far right?
I can't say with any degree of certainty, sir, no.
Can we take that down now, please? And can we now have from tab C76, MPS 305731. We're going to a National Front march in Bermondsey. This is the 2001 event. Thank you. 20th of April 2001. This is a report about events at the demonstration 6 days earlier on Saturday the 14th. I'll give you a moment just to refresh your memory.
Yes, sir.
Were you there?
Yes, I was.
Can you give us an idea of how many no platform activists showed up?
Anything between 15 and 20, sir, I think.
And how many National Front marchers?
I think it was a slightly larger group. I can't remember for sure. There were other anti-fascist activists in attendance, but in terms of no platform, the number I've just given you. But there were other people there protesting.
Says current MP tactics are to locate the meeting point for fascists and then to attack them before they get anywhere near the location of the march. What was the basis for reporting that that was the plan?
I was told that was the plan, to stop them forming up, to stop them making it to Bermondsey.
Respecting anonymity,
Yes, sir.
insofar as you've seen the redactions to date, who told you that was the plan?
That would have been the main organisers for no platform.
Mr. Gilman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Batty?
Entirely yes, possible.
Anybody else? And if they're anonymous, please write it down.
There would have been other activists, but certainly Mr. Gilman and Mr. Batty would have communicated that to me.
Oh, any particulars given of the form of attack that was expected?
Well, to run into them and get them to disperse. So if that involved slapping or punching someone, that's perfectly acceptable.
On the day itself, am I understanding that nothing of that sort in fact occurred?
Not in central London, no, not as far as I'm aware.
Could we take that report down, please? And can we have up from tab C84, MPS 305831? 4th of May 2001. This is a report about events in Leicester on the 21st of April 2001. If we can have the text expanded, and I'll give you a moment to read it.
Thank you. So,
Were you there?
I can't remember. I think I was.
Can you recall witnessing an attack on a car?
No, sir.
Mr. Gilman has denied that there was any attack on a car carrying National Front supporters. Might he be right about that?
No.
If you did not see the attack on the car, how can you be sure?
As I sort of say in the intelligence report, there were members of the London group who had formed up with the Nottingham group. I wasn't with them. I don't believe Mr. Gilman was either. And it was reported back to us that they had, as I say, a touch, and that they'd been able to cause problems for opposition activists. Did I physically see that? No. But this is what was reported back to me.
So are you reporting am I understanding your evidence correctly? You say you are reporting Mr. Gilman's reaction to being told by others that there'd been
Yes,
an
but
attack
I
on a car.
was present when that story was told. It wasn't Mr. Gilman that told that story. It was one of the activists that had been involved from our London group with the Nottingham group.
Can we take that down now, please, and go to tab B36, MPF 305746. This is a document about a visit to the SDS by ACO Vaness, accompanied by Commander Pierce, on Thursday, the 26th of April 2001. Can you recall that visit?
Vaguely, sir. We used to get visited, yeah. I recall Mr. Vaness because he was quite distinctive.
Why was he distinctive?
He had really nice silver hair.
This document records that you were present
Yes, sir.
on the day, and it talks about groups of officers being intended to spend about 15 to 20 minutes with the ACSO. Is that what is likely to have happened?
I believe so. I wouldn't have attached a great deal of importance to this. We would get visited from time to time. We would give a brief description of our work or what we were tasked to do, and then we would get on with our day. Basically, it was more for the back office to deal with this.
And to what extent was it for the ACSO and Commander Pierce?
Well, I think, again, as I say, the AXO, as we would call him, and Mr. Pierce, obviously permissions would come through that way. I'm sorry. And so I think that was why they were brought out to see us, just to meet us and to understand what it was that we were doing.
And in terms of helping them to understand what you were doing, what sort of things would you have said to the AXO?
I can't remember, sir. I am sorry.
This is the 26th of April 2001.
Yes.
We know that 5 days later there was a sizable protest on May Day 2001, wasn't there?
Yeah, I'm not great with dates, sir, but yes.
May Day protests were an annual fixture around this time, weren't
absolutely. Doesn't stand out in my memory. I attended a few of those over the years.
they? That was the one at which you were cordoned by police, or the demonstrators were cordoned by police.
Yep.
Does that ring any bells?
I recall being cordoned by police. I couldn't tell you the exact date.
Would you, for example, have spoken to the AXO about the fact that you were involved with a group that would be turning out on May Day?
Not in exactly those words. My sort of recollection of things like this were that these senior officers would turn up and they would basically, it would go round the room and it would be, can you tell them what it is you're deployed against? So my responses would have been obviously anti-fascist, militant anti-fascist groups, predominantly at this moment in time, no platform.
If we could go to page 2, please. We see this section on the extreme left wing, this is part of the briefing, says under deployment, one officer targeted against SWP and more recently No Platform. No Platform is a relatively new organisation formed by members of the Socialist Party who target specific individuals and events with the aim of injury and disorder. That appears to be a reference to your deployment. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
On what basis can it be said that the aim was to cause injury?
I never wrote this, sir. I don't really know what they were trying to say there. I think the aim of injury and disorder, it would come down to it's a really good way of disrupting something. If you hurt someone, they generally don't want to come back.
I understand you didn't write this, but what I would like to understand is whether you think this is an accurate reflection of no platform or whether it exaggerates the reality.
I think it's accurate, sir.
And it intentionally causing injury.
Yes.
Could we take that down now, please? Could we go to tab C80, MPS 305795? This is the 30th report dated the 30th of April 2001. It's about the then imminent protest on May Day 2001. Can you see there that there is a list of planned stops or activities along the way, starting with walking to the University of London for an anti-tuition fee rally, then moving on to Coutts Bank, and then a march along Oxford Street?
Yes, sir.
So the no platform activists see their role as providing protection and guidance for other fluffy demonstrators. Does that accurately portray the role of no platform on the day?
I would say yes, because at demonstrations of this kind, one of no platform's roles was to act as a stewarding group for like-minded protesters. So we would often walk alongside or in front of the demonstrations.
Goes on to say, however, should the opportunity present itself for an attack on property or the police, then they will take part. What was the basis for making that comment?
The basis for that would have been what was said to me. I can't remember by who, but by other activists.
What property was being referred to?
I don't know. I would imagine anything capitalist in its outlook, banks, things like that. I think Starbucks was always popular back then.
Would you agree that attacking the police is quite a big deal?
Yeah, very much so. That's why I was deployed.
And that certainly if one has a job, one risks losing everything one's got if one gets convicted of attacking the police.
Yeah, I would suggest it depends on the job you have.
Is it your evidence that there were people who were specifically talking about seeking an opportunity to attack police?
Definitely spoken about, yes, sir.
Being very careful about privacy, writing down names if you need to. Who do you say was talking about attacking the police?
Mario is always the name that comes to mind because Mario generally informed what his life was about.
Anybody else?
Certainly some of his friends and associates.
Are we talking about the anarchists here?
Yes, but also the comrades in the party and no platform. They weren't fans of the police.
Not being a fan of the police and attacking them physically are two different things. Is it your evidence that anybody from the Socialist Party was talking about attacking the police on May Day?
Yes, sir, it was definitely talked about. Whether it happened, I can't tell you because we were split up.
Again, being careful about privacy, writing down the names if you need to. Which members of the Socialist Party do you say were looking for an opportunity to attack the police? The names you've given are Frank Smith, Dan Gilman and Joe Batty.
Yes, sir.
So your evidence that all three of them were planning to attack the police?
No, sir, not planning. This was talked about. If the police got in the way, then they were fair game.
In what sort of terms was this discussed?
This would have been discussed in the planning, so prior to the event.
Can you help us with the, so we fully understand the nuance? In what terms did they talk about attacking the police?
Well, from memory, it was the police will try to get in the way. We're not going to have that. We will try and break through their lines. There was reference made to previous occasions where they had been in, at very least, pushing, shoving matches with police officers. Prior to my deployment, but this was often talked about.
Yeah, okay. So pushing and shoving.
Yeah.
Did it go beyond that?
I wasn't there, sir, but these were what's talked about. We will
what
not
was being talked about?
We will not allow the police to get in our way. If we need to, we will use physical force to deal with them.
And was your understanding that what they were referring to was a bit of pushing and shoving?
No, it was they will use physical force. The level to what that goes depends very much on the situation, I'm afraid.
Did you ever see Frank Smith use physical violence towards the police?
Possibly. I can't remember, to be honest. I can't give you an exact occasion now.
When you say possibly, do you have a recollection now of Mr. Frank Smith using violence towards the police?
Well, am I able to talk about foreign deployment, sir?
Yes, I'm not charged with the task of investigating undercover policing abroad, but,
No, but
I do receive evidence about it if it's relevant.
Well, it formed part of my deployment. And on one occasion, we were present, I think it was in Genoa, with Mr. Smith, and there were definitely items being thrown at police lines that I witnessed Mr. Smith doing. In the UK, I was definitely there. I think it would have been Bermondsey again, where there was a National Front march and we attempted to break through the police lines. So there was rough and tumble with the police. I wasn't watching what Mr. Smith was doing exactly because I was trying to avoid getting hurt myself. But I recall certainly wrestling with a police officer or a couple of police officers and watching the same thing happen with my colleagues, or comrades as they were.
Were you able to see in Genoa what Mr. Frank Smith was throwing towards the Italian police?
No.
Is it fair to say the Italian police were extremely rough in Genoa?
I'm not to say. I don't know Italian policing tactics.
Well, you were there, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Compared to the police force you were a member of, how rough were they being?
It's not an accurate or fair question, sir. We are not in this country allowed to deploy tear gas and water cannon. The Italian police and a lot of European police forces, it's part of their arsenal and part of their tactics. I can't really go further than that. That's what I saw.
Mr. Batty, did you ever see Mr. Batty being violent towards the police?
No, don't think so.
Mr. Gilman?
I don't think so. I do think that he liked to talk it up and discuss tactics and such, but nothing springs to mind.
Back to May Day, if we take that document down, can you give me a yes-no
Yes, sir.
Answer to this next question? Were you told that there would be National Public Order Intelligence Unit coverage of the event?
Not that I can recall, no.
I'd like to move to events on the day. Obviously, it's a long day, so you'll need to tell me what happens over time. Can you help us with where were you?
I was in central London. I don't recall the meeting point. I think it was quite a warm day. And I was a part of the march, and at some point, I think we got cordoned.
Did you go, we saw the itinerary, as it were,
Yes, sir.
a couple of documents back. Did you go to the University of London protest?
I don't believe I did, but again, I can't remember it. It wouldn't have been that important to me. The point of that would have been continuing to maintain my legend.
Did you go to the Coots Bank protest?
No, don't recall that.
Did you walk up Regent Street to Oxford Circus?
Yeah, entirely possible.
Because it was in Oxford Circus that the police imposed the cordon, wasn't it? In the period between arriving for the event and the cordon being imposed, what was the mood?
I can't remember. I think people were quite hot and bothered. I do recall it being quite a warm day. I was just walking with a group of activists, I think from the Socialist Party or no platform affiliations, but I was only there to maintain my legend. I was not there to undertake any activities. I didn't really see...
If it was suggested that it was a good-natured event up until the point of the cordon, would you agree?
The people I was with, I think it was good-natured. I couldn't comment on the rest of the people. There were certainly hundreds of people in my vicinity, so I can't really give information as to that.
From where you were, could you see why the police imposed a cordon?
No, sir.
When you were cordoned, were you still with your Socialist Party colleagues?
I don't remember who I was with, sir. I think I must have been with somebody, yes.
Were you with other people from no platform who were not Socialist Party members?
I can't recall, sir.
Were you near Lois Austin?
At some point, I think Lois knew the people I was with, and I think, yes, she may have stopped for a chat. I didn't know her personally that well.
All within the cordon?
I believe so, yes.
Did you see her partner, Niall Mulholland?
I wouldn't know who that was. She would have been with somebody, I imagine, but...
How well did you know Lois Austin at the time?
I might have seen her, met her once or twice at very most. The people I was with obviously would have known who she was.
And what did you know of her role in the Socialist Party at that time?
I think it was indicated to me that she was a full-timer, as they used to call them.
And what was your understanding at the time of her role in Youth Against Racism in Europe?
I had no idea.
Did you know that she was a national organiser?
No.
What was your understanding of the link, if any, between the Socialist Party and the Youth Against Racism in Europe?
Well, obviously, my impression was that it could be a recruiting ground for no platform. I think, from memory, some of the people I'd been alongside had been members. I've got to be frank, I wasn't aware that Lois was a YRE organiser. It was somebody else that I thought was the organiser, because that was who we spoke to.
Had you ever seen Lois Austin work as a spotter?
It had been intimated to me, yes.
Can you explain the terms in which that was intimated to you?
The usual, talking within pubs, talking about people that might go out and do this kind of task. And that would have been one of the names that was mentioned.
By the time you are in the cordon, from your knowledge of Lois Austin direct and from others, what view had you formed about her temperament and personality?
That she was feisty, committed, and was not happy about being in the cordon, as I wasn't very happy.
Had you ever witnessed her being violent?
No.
Had anybody ever told you that she had been violent?
No.
Had you ever witnessed her committing a criminal offence?
No, we didn't know each other that well.
Had anybody ever told you that she committed a criminal offence?
No.
You've described her feelings and yours at being contained. Would it be fair to say that people within the cordon were generally tired and frustrated?
Yes, sir.
Is it right that Ms. Austin asked to leave the cordon several times?
You'd have to ask her, sir. I can't remember that.
Did you know that she had a baby?
No. Definitely not, no.
Did you hear anything to the effect she might have to pick up her child from a creche?
I don't recall that, no.
When you were in the cordon, was there any access to toilets?
No, not that I saw.
How did the police handle people with special needs?
No idea. I didn't see anything like that, sir.
How long were you contained for?
Felt like a long time. I couldn't say for sure, sir, but I would obviously go by.
If it was suggested that you were contained for 7 hours, does that sound about right?
For me personally, it did not feel that like it was that long, but we were certainly there for a long time. But again, we are talking a very long time ago.
Did you stay within the cordon until it was finally lifted?
I, from memory, believe I made one attempt, quite a lot, sort of, not a real attempt to push past a police officer, as some people were, but I didn't sort of get into any kind of tussle or anything like that. I was accept my fate, and I think I sat down and tried to get some rest.
Is that a yes to my question? You stayed till the end?
My apologies. Yes, sir.
Did the size of the cordon remain the same, or was it tightened?
I think it remained the same, sir.
Are you sure?
I can't remember, if I'm honest, but I don't recall, other than when we were then funneled out of it, because I'm sure we were at the end of it. We weren't just allowed to disperse. I'm sure we were funneled out, but I don't recall feeling especially uncomfortable that we were being hemmed in and closed up on.
How densely packed was the area of containment?
I was able to sit down. I was able to stretch out. So around me, it was okay.
Did you consider the parameters of the cordon were at any time dangerous?
No, didn't feel that way at all.
Are you able to help with whether or not Ms. Austin contacted the MP Tony Benn from within the cordon?
No idea, sir. No.
Or spoke to lawyers?
No, I don't remember that.
Can you recall whether there were efforts on the spot to collect names of people who might be interested in litigation against the MPS, or as acting as witnesses in any litigation that was to be brought to challenge the cordon?
I don't recall that. I don't recall being asked.
Did the Socialist Party later send an email around after the event to members inviting or seeking claimants to join the action on seeking witnesses?
If they did, I do not recall that.
Might they have done?
Entirely possible, yes.
Can you recall whether or not you had any interest in doing so?
Absolutely not.
During the course of May Day 2001, did you relay any intelligence during the course of the day in real time?
Not to my recollection, no.
Is that something you might do on a demonstration?
Yes, but only if it was safe for me to do so. And I think I would have been in company of people, so it made that difficult.
Did you tell your managers that you had been contained?
Yes, I believe I did.
And what was their reaction?
Nothing that I recall. I think it was viewed as operational requirement. These things happen.
Did you see any violence from within the cordon?
Not that I recall, no.
You've mentioned people trying to push through the cordon.
Yeah.
Did you see anything more forceful than that?
Nothing comes to mind. Nothing that I recall.
Did you see any disorder at all within the cordon?
Other than what I've just described, within the cordon, no.
Can we go to tab B103, MPS 20711194? This is a document which is said to be a chronological list of your deployment between January 2000 and December 2006. Could we go to page 3, please? We go to the penultimate paragraph, May 2001. Give you a moment to read that. Is that factually accurate?
I think so, sir. Yes, reading that.
The disturbances that took place at the rear of Oxford Street, behind John Lewis and Selfridges, were you an eyewitness to those disturbances?
I believe I was. I recall hearing glass breaking and obviously lots of noise and seeing people running around, but we were not actually there. We could just see what was happening.
Was that before or after the cordon?
I can't remember, sir. Sorry.
Or during it?
I am sorry. I can't remember.
I'm trying to establish really whether you are reporting what you've been told or whether you've seen it. And I'm getting the impression your evidence is you saw it from a distance.
Yes.
Could we take that down now, please? Could we go to tab C81, MPS 305827? This is the 4th of May 2001, and we're back in Bermondsey.
Okay.
And this report is about plans for a National Front March on Saturday, the 12th of May. You will see that you've reported no platform are planning a number of actions to combat the National Front March scheduled for that day. And the second paragraph talks about plans including a hope of being able to ambush National Front activists. Can you help us with any detail you recall of the planning for this event?
From memory, I feel we would have had a meet-up a couple of evenings before for as many people who could attend to discuss tactics for the day. Generally, that would have been the sort of thing that took place, and then you would get together on the day of the action.
Did you attend on the day?
I believe I did. Please forgive me, it may be that this is the occasion I'm talking about, the melee with police officers. I know we talked about a previous Bermondsey action.
What happened?
We didn't find anyone around Liverpool Street or the environs. We definitely travelled down to Bermondsey, where police lines were already in place. My recollection, the National Front had their march. There was obviously the group of no platform activists, but there were also other protesters. And as I say, we attempted to break through police lines, and there were lots of wrestling matches, of which I was involved in one with a uniform officer, and then got hiked back over. I think they had the barriers out and people were jumping them. And that was where I said I saw other associates doing similar.
Beyond pushing and shoving with the police, was there any more serious violence?
I didn't engage in any, sir, but, you know, again, a situation like that, if you're having a wrestling match with a uniformed police officer, you're not always, I'm afraid, looking at what your associates are doing.
Understood. Did you witness any violence above pushing and shoving?
I witnessed wrestling matches taking place, so no.
Can we take that down now, please? Can we have up from tab C318, MPS 305972? This is a report dated the 21st of May 2001, and it's about events on the 19th of May 2001 in and around Hackney Town Hall. Could we have the text expanded, please? Give you a moment to read that.
Yes, sir.
Is it right you were present on that occasion?
Yes, sir.
First of all, in the Samuel Pepys pub?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
With your activist associates?
Yes.
With about 10 or 12 of them, would that be fair?
There was a sizable group.
Was the woman we are calling Lindsay part of that group?
Yes, I think so.
And was she just back from America?
I couldn't remember.
And was she friends with Joe Batty?
I'm not sure about Mr. Batty, no. Other activists.
Friends with the activist we are calling Alfred?
Yeah, I believe so.
Particularly good friends with Alfred's partner?
Yes.
And with Fozia?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Did you speak to her?
Probably.
Repeatedly?
I spoke to lots of people. Couldn't say more than that.
Presumably, it's part and parcel of your job to get to know people.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
And a new face you'd want to get to know?
Yeah, but at the same time, I was also there talking to... There were a lot of people...
I'm not suggesting you weren't speaking to other people as well.
Okay.
What I'm giving you an opportunity to address is the suggestion that you spoke to her on a number of occasions that evening.
Yeah, as I say, I can't say 100%. Yes, of course.
And would it have been clear to Lindsay from what you said and from the company that you were keeping that you were political?
Yeah, yes, I believe it would.
What happened at the town hall?
From memory, there was an awful lot of drink consumed that night. At a certain point in the night, quite late on, I think it might have even been kicking out time, there were large groups milling in the square. and at some stage there had been, I think, a police serial there, and there had been lots of talk about occupying the town hall. I think at some point the police withdrew and an attempt was made to get in, which was successful.
Did you report the plans
Yes.
to occupy the town hall?
Yes, but it was very short notice, sir. I think I sent a text message or something like that.
Is that before or after the police serial was withdrawn?
I can't remember, sir.
Did you go into the town hall?
No.
It was occupied, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh, yes. Yeah.
If you didn't go into the town hall, does it follow you won't be able to assist us as to whether or not there was any damage done inside?
Oh, it was obvious there was damage. I think from memory, the town hall has steps. I was definitely up onto the steps, but never went through the doors, and you could hear the sounds of damage being done, but I didn't physically see anybody doing anything. There were people up on a balcony.
And what was the police response to this event?
I think fairly swift. I think the serial, as it's called, returned fairly swiftly and tried to, well, I know it, tried to force us off the steps because in my case they were successful. And then I believe further units were requested and arrived because we were cleared away.
What degree of force were the police using to do this?
Batons. I personally received a little bit of tear gas in the face because I was on the steps. So I would say reasonable level of force, really, given the circumstances.
And were you playing in role and
Yes.
being less than cooperative with
Yes,
the
I was,
police?
sir.
And how cooperative with police were your Socialist Party colleagues being?
Well, we were all sort of not moving, cheering, shouting. So I would say we were not really being very cooperative.
Is it right your cover accommodation at this stage was in Hackney?
Yes, sir.
Did you go back to your accommodation to wash away the tear gas?
I wouldn't have washed it away because I knew full well that the worst thing you can do is try and wash tear gas off. I remember just trying to open up my clothing and trying to get it to blow away. I think one of the people that I was with had water thrown on him, and it reacted with the tear gas and set it all off again. I certainly lost interest in proceedings very quickly at that point.
Or because you've been gassed?
Yes.
So just to be clear, did you go back to your accommodation?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Did you go back there with other people?
No, not on that night.
Lindsay's evidence is that you and another woman went back to your accommodation.
No, sir. Not on that night. Not at all, sir, no.
You certain about that?
Pretty. I'd just been tear gassed.
Now, if we look back at the report,
Yep.
it says the disorder seemed to have been pre-planned by anarchist agitators. What was the basis for assessing that it was pre-planned as opposed to opportunistic?
My reasons for that were that obviously when you are going through what happened on the night, there had been discussion that this had been an idea that had been put out, obviously by the party who was referred to there, and that it had been an idea that had come about whilst everyone was still in the public house in the Samuel Pepys.
And arranged to coincide with the closing down party at the Samuel Pepys. That suggests that the arrangement was before the night in question.
That I'm afraid I don't know, but I know that it was spoken about in the pub. And again, I think it was quite a warm night because I recall being outside of the pub drinking for quite a large part of the time.
And you suggested that the real problem was the withdrawal of the police serial.
But from what I saw, that's what it felt like. It was like, whilst the police were there, people were being mindful. As soon as they left, I later learned, I think they went for their refreshments break. It then, the mood changed because obviously the opportunity was presenting itself.
That sounds like an opportunistic action. Is that fair or not?
At that moment it was, but the talk had taken place prior to that, sir. You know, whilst we were in the pub and outside the pub, this was doing the rounds. You know, the town hall's going to get occupied. As I say, for the whole time that I was there watching the line of police officers, nothing took place. But I sent a message in some shape or form to my handler that night prior to the police withdrawal saying they're planning this. So to me, yeah, it became opportunist as soon as the police left, but the intention was there, the idea was there.
Thank you. Can we take that down now? Sir, I'm about to move to a completely different topic. Would that be a convenient moment to take
Certainly it would.
the afternoon break?
Yes. 10 minutes or quarter of an hour? 10 minutes.
Mr. Soracchi, the conversations about a fictional girlfriend, was HN53 party to those? Your detective inspector.
Possibly, sir. Yes, I can't remember.
We know that you were not given a fictional girlfriend. Where was it left with you? By which I mean, were you given any guidance as to how to deal with the matchmaking attempts of those you were mixing with?
No guidance as such, sir. I think, to refer back to earlier things I said, you're a big boy, work it out, is what came back amongst, after relating those experiences. There was, as I say, I can only describe it as merriment. It was found to be amusing.
Was it the fact that they were trying to set you up with a man that was found amusing?
I think it was a bit of everything, yes, sir. I think it was, well, we've attempted with females, we've attempted with this. I think that would have caused amusement.
And to move now to the beginning of your sexual relationship with Lindsay.
Yes, sir.
Is it right that either on the 19th of May, the day of the events at Hackney Town Hall, or if not soon after that, that Lindsay proposed a date?
It definitely would have been after the Hackney Town Hall events.
Did you go on a date with her soon afterwards?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly when, but yes.
She thinks it might have been on or around the 26th of May or thereabouts. She has a recollection of being sacked for failing to attend a shift because she was with you.
I don't know. As I say, with dates, I'm not fantastic, I'm afraid, but yes.
Would you disagree with around a week after the Hackney Town Hall incident?
From memory, sir, it felt like it might have been longer, but I do
a little longer or a lot longer?
A little longer, but I cannot say for sure.
When you had the date with Lindsay, presumably you had a good conversation with her.
Yes, of course.
And was it clear to you that she was a socialist?
Yes, I believe so.
And what sort of things did you talk about?
Well, I can't remember, sir. There would have been conversations around politics, of course. But other than that, I don't really recall.
And did you have sex with Lindsay that evening?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Before you had sex with Lindsay that evening, did you give any thought to the fact that you were an undercover police officer?
Yes, I did. However, at that time, I felt in an extremely difficult place, and I was struggling.
Why did you feel that you were in a difficult place?
Because I felt like I wasn't really getting any support from my back office. That my situation was not being taken seriously.
In what way were you struggling?
Well, as I said previously, I'd had a number of different people introduced to me.
Struggling, I'll put it crudely, to keep your trousers on.
That's one way of putting it, sir, yes. Wouldn't be my way of putting it, but yes.
How would you put it?
That I had to do something to maintain my cover. And as I say, the good old, you're a big boy, you can work it out, was sort of used to bounce around. And that, to me, was something that I needed to do. Not proud of it at all. But
needed to do?
Yeah, to help maintain my cover, to get people just to leave me alone a little bit from that world so that I could concentrate on the work that I had in hand.
There were single people in the Socialist Party, weren't there?
I think so, yeah.
You could have continued to play the role of the single man, couldn't you?
Absolutely. It was felt to me like it was getting harder and harder.
Did you consider, when you decided to have sex with Lindsay, that you were deceiving her as to who you really were?
I don't think at the time I did, sir. Subsequently, yes.
Why didn't you think about it at the time?
I would suggest a combination of things. That world that I inhabited was there was an awful lot of alcohol consumed. There were lots of other things that could influence you and that kind of thing. And I think that, coupled with what had happened with my back office and my requests, I was sort of felt at the time that I was running out of options.
But presumably between agreeing to go on a date with Lindsay and going on the date with Lindsay, there would have been sober moments in which to reflect on how you should behave.
Absolutely. And I did not attend that date with the intention of trying to sleep with her. But at the same time, as I say, it happened. And, you know.
If you attended the date without the intention to sleep with her, why did you?
A combination of things, as I've said, alcohol, my own, as I say, state of mind at the time, that I felt pressured, that I needed to try and do something. As I say, I think that's what was occupying my mind at the time.
Was one of the reasons that you did not give consideration to the fact you were deceiving Lindsay as to who you really were was because you were not giving her any thought?
No, that's not correct, sir.
Well, if you had been giving her any thought, you wouldn't have deceived her, would you?
Again, I disagree with that. As I say, this was a very nice person, and things got out of hand and it went too far. I acknowledge that, and I'm sorry about that. But at that time, that was my state of mind.
For your benefit?
Yes, it did benefit me, yes, sir.
And without regard to the deception of her?
I would agree with that, yes, at that time.
And it went further than deceiving her as to who you really were, because you were also deceiving her as to what you really were, weren't you? Police officer.
Yes, that my role, I was a police officer, but my role was you do not reveal these things.
And you had met her in company with people who were being pretty obstructive to the police at Hackney, weren't you?
Yes, that occasion at Hackney, yes, sir.
You knew she was a socialist
Yes, sir.
and might well hold anti-police views.
Yeah, that's fair to say, sir.
And your actions deprived Lindsay of the ability to make an informed choice as to whether or not to have sex with Detective Constable Carlo Soracchi.
I would only partially agree with that, sir. Other than a very big thing that I did keep that from her, I did try and remain myself. But yes, I deceived her. I cannot get away from that.
She would not have consented to sex if she had known who and what you really were.
I can't answer that, sir.
It's obvious, isn't it?
Not in every case, no.
What you did in having sex with Lindsay was quite wrong, wasn't it?
Yes, I've already said that.
Did you give any consideration to your wife?
Yes, I felt extremely guilty. I still feel extremely guilty. It is something that I don't think I will ever be able to forget.
Did you give that consideration to your wife before or after having sex with Lindsay?
That's definitely after. I think before. These are not... I don't fully understand the question.
Why do you only think you gave thought to your wife before?
Of course, I would have thought about her, sir, but as I say, at that time, and with what I was doing, I felt that I needed to do something, and I, unfortunately, did that.
Had you told your wife that you'd got to the stage where you felt you needed to do something?
No.
Why not?
I don't know, really. It's a difficult conversation to have, I would imagine.
Very difficult, wouldn't it?
Indeed, yeah.
And she would not want you to have done it.
Absolutely not, no.
So why did you do it?
Well, as I've said, sir, the opportunity was there. I had things going through my mind. It was convenient, and this was a nice person.
Did you tell anyone in the SDS what had happened at the time?
Not that I can remember, sir, no.
Can I take it that you would have remembered if
Absolutely.
you had?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, yes.
Why didn't you tell anybody?
We didn't really talk about these things, as I say, other than conversations with supervisors sort of in later years at that time.
As I'd understood your evidence from this morning, HN58 had made it clear that if anything happened, you'd need to discuss it.
Yep.
Can I take it from your evidence that you ignored that requirement?
Yes, sir. I don't recall having had any discussions like that, so yes.
And is that because you were fearful of getting into trouble?
Would have played a part, yes.
Or being told to stop the relationship?
Absolutely. But I wanted to continue in my deployment.
Did you tell your wife afterwards?
Not at that stage, no.
When did you tell your wife?
I can't remember exactly, sir.
Can you help us with a year?
No. Towards the end of my deployment, 2004 possibly. But again, I can't be exact on that.
And why didn't you tell her?
Well, for the reasons I've already said, I wanted to continue in the work I was doing. I obviously felt guilty about what I had done. More than that, I can't really help you, sir.
What would it have taken to stop you crossing the line and deceiving Lindsay into sex?
Someone to support me from our side of the house, as it were, that I could use for that kind of thing. I think that...
What do you mean by that kind of thing?
I mean, I think I might have said a bit of terminology this morning, but an officer to support me as a girlfriend.
Right. You continued in the relationship. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you leave it as a one-night stand, a mistake which you should not repeat?
Can't recall, sir. I think it just made sense to me at the time. I was in a very unique set of circumstances, and so it continued.
So can we be clear as to what you mean by that because it suited you?
Yes, absolutely. I would agree with that.
You were getting company
Yes.
and sex
Yes.
and love.
Yes.
Presumably you got to know her better and better.
I think I did, but you know, as we will go on to later, I did not live with this person. I did not see this person every night, things like that. But yes, of course, you're going to get to know someone.
She was single.
I believe so.
She was a member of Youth Against Racism in Europe.
I think she had been, but at that time, I don't know. Yes, if she says she was, yes, of course.
Raised funds for YRE.
Don't know.
Can you recall when you first knew about the connection with YRE?
No, I can't, sir. I think I may have been told about it by Alfred and his partner, but more than that.
She was no fan of the police.
Okay.
When you say okay,
Absolutely.
she'd had bad experiences of the police at demonstrations, hadn't she?
That may have been spoken about, yes. But again, that would have been just discussions between us at that time. I was playing a role, I'm afraid.
Well, let's have up, please, 38233. Whilst that's called up, I can ask you, she was a photographer, wasn't she?
Yes. I believe so.
If we could see that photograph, did she show that to you?
Yeah, I think so.
That was the perspective from which she saw the police, wasn't it, as someone who attended demonstrations?
My recollection of this, sir, is that Lindsay was very proud of this photo. I think, from memory, it was framed and on a wall. I didn't really get into it indicating her perception of the police.
So it was very clear to you, wasn't it, that she was indeed no fan of the police?
No, I wouldn't say that from that, sir. That is a journalist's photo of police officers at work.
And she...
It was made clear to me that obviously they weren't the greatest fans of police, but I don't really understand how I can talk any about that for Lindsay.
Well, the reason I'm asking these questions is you continued to have sex with Lindsay,
Yes,
didn't you?
I did,
And
yes.
you continued a relationship with her
Yes, sir.
when you knew full well that she would not have consented to sex if she had known you were an undercover police officer spying on her colleagues and friends.
I cannot speak for her, sir. I've got to be honest.
Did you address your mind to that topic at all?
Yes, of course I did.
Well, what was your...
I had an affair with someone. Of course I addressed my mind to the topic that what I was doing was wrong.
I'm asking specifically about consent. Did you address your mind to whether or not Lindsay would consent to sleeping with Detective Constable Carlo Soracchi?
If you put it like that, sir, no, I don't think about that.
And had you put it like that, the answer would have been no, wouldn't it?
Again, I can only say that, yes, that question would have to be raised there, but I guess so.
Can we take that down now? She did attend demonstrations, didn't she?
I don't recall attending any with her, but yes.
That's not what I'm suggesting. She did go to demonstrations, didn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
and she read what might be described as non-mainstream political literature.
Yes.
But would it be fair to say your relationship was not really built around politics?
It would be fair to say yes.
Why didn't you stop the relationship? Why did you continue?
I think on reflection, I was finding it very difficult to stop. For a number of reasons.
Are they the reasons you gave me
Yes,
a little while ago?
Yes.
Were there any more as the relationship developed?
No, I don't believe so.
Because you became very complimentary to Lindsay, didn't you?
Yes, it's in my nature to be like that.
You told her you loved her?
I don't recall it, but yes, if she says so.
You were the first to say that. You said it before she did.
I can't remember, sir. It was a long time ago. But
Is telling a woman with whom you are in a relationship that you love her so inconsequential that you don't remember doing it with Lindsay?
no, it's not inconsequential, sir, but it was a very long time ago. Again, I'm not arguing or disputing that, but I'm just saying that it may have happened, but I cannot say for sure.
Did you tell her that you had never met anyone like her?
Entirely possible, yes.
You bought her thoughtful gifts, didn't you?
Yes, as I did for other people I was deployed.
A single lens reflex camera?
I recall that, but I do not remember outlaying all of the money for that. I thought that there had been a bit of a whip round, so to speak, amongst the group of friends, and that we had purchased it. But I cannot remember for sure, sir.
Bought her books?
Possibly. I think I was bought books by her as well.
Hand drums?
Yes, possibly, yes.
And did you arrange a surprise birthday party for her in Liverpool?
I did not arrange the party, sir. I believe that was her closer friends. I did travel up with her. Whether that was in company of the whole group or not, I cannot recall.
Was that around September 2001?
If you say so, yes.
And did you meet Lindsay's mother and brother in Liverpool?
Entirely possible, yes, sir.
Did you give any consideration to the additional intrusion into the lives of ordinary members of the public that presenting yourself as Lindsay's boyfriend to her mother and brother entailed?
At the time, I would say no. I felt that this was part of my deployment and that I was acting in a way that I'd been told to try and deal with the situation. I think subsequently, in later years, yes. But it was too late by then, sir.
We've mentioned a number of times you being told to deal with it.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to be clear. Are you accepting your personal responsibility for deceiving Lindsay, or are you seeking
No, totally.
to blame your
I
managers?
accept responsibility, and as I've said, I am truly sorry. I don't think I will ever be able to express that as much as I can.
In terms of the course of this relationship, Mr. Soracchi, would it be fair to describe the birthday party as a watershed moment after which the relationship became more serious?
I can't remember, sir. Entirely possible, but I do not remember that.
Did the relationship become more serious over time?
I did not think it did. I just thought that we were still involved in a relatively casual relationship with each other. Yes, we would meet up and do things together. I did not take it that seriously because I did not think there was any possibility that I was ever going to live with this person, or that they would even want to live with me. Yeah.
Did you give any consideration to how she might be feeling about the development of the relationship?
I like to think I did, but again, I cannot remember entirely. I'm sure there were discussions, definitely.
What do you mean discussions?
About where we were going about the relationship.
Can you recall the gist of those conversations?
Not entirely. I do recall that I think it was made quite clear to me that we probably should not live together. I think it was made clear that there were other people that might be involved in relationships, and hence I just thought, well, this is fun. This is helping me in a operational way, but I'm doing my best to be as decent an individual as I can be, given the fact that I'm sort of lying to this person.
That's quite a difficult feat to pull off, isn't it?
Yes, completely, sir.
When you say other people in other relationships, what do you mean by that?
Well, we would talk about exes and things like that, and that came apparent in conversations we had.
By perpetuating the relationship, you are leading her down the garden path, aren't you?
I accept that, yes, sir.
Did you give that any thought?
Yeah, I regularly, I still do.
Why didn't you stop?
It's very easy to just say, why didn't you stop? But at the time, it was very difficult for me to do. I can't give you an exact reason why, but there were the reasons I have spoken about.
Because it worked well for you.
Yes, of course.
Lindsay's evidence is that you gave her a key to your cover accommodation. Is that right?
I can't remember, sir. I don't think I did, but I can't remember. Possibly.
Would it be right to say in the phase of the relationship after the surprise birthday party, you would see each other approximately 2 to 3 nights a week?
I don't remember that, sir. I would not think that was the case.
What is your recollection?
I can't remember. Once, twice, depending on the week, depending on what I was doing in terms of political activism and also in my sort of real life, for want of a better word.
Would you usually see her at the weekend?
Depended if we were on activity or not, a political activity.
And did you see her both alone and also socialising with others?
Yes, sir.
Would it be right to say that you stayed mostly at her place, but sometimes at yours?
My recollection is that when we would stay together, it was more often than not at her place. I think there may have been 1, possibly 2 occasions. The place I lived in at that time was not very pleasant.
Would it be fair to say that early in the relationship you were having sex about once a week?
Yeah, yes.
And later on, perhaps 2 or 3 times a week?
Yes, sir. I didn't keep count, but entirely possible, yes. But
essentially, whenever you saw one another?
Yes, but as I said previously, it would depend on other things that were going on.
Is it right that she used a natural method of contraception?
I can't remember, sir. I believe we always used a sheath of some sort, but again, Yeah,
I mean, it's quite an important detail, isn't it, contraception?
absolutely, sir. But
Did you give any thought to
yes, of
the
course.
risk of fathering a child in a deceitful relationship?
Completely. Hence, as I say, I believe we used the sheath, but I'm not here to dispute what other people may have said.
Her evidence is that she is allergic to latex, and although you may have used a sheath a little at the start of the relationship, you generally didn't for that reason. Might she be right about that?
No, I don't believe so, sir. No.
I don't want you to go into details, but did you know that Lindsay had had a painful breakup in the past?
Yes, I believe that was spoken about.
Did you give any consideration to the fact that you were obviously going to have to break up with her at some point and cause her more pain?
Yes, I did, sir.
And what were your reflections on that thinking?
Quite how unpleasant a human being I was at that stage because of the world I was getting myself into.
Did you tell Lindsay that your sister lived in the country but was trapped in an unhappy marriage?
Entirely possible, yes, because it would have formed part of my legend.
And that was not, in fact, the truth about your sister, was it?
No, it was part of my legend, sir.
Did you tell her that you had a son?
I think I did, yes. Again, part of my legend.
And you showed her a photograph of the child?
Entirely, I think I did keep a photo.
Is that a photograph of your real son?
I think it was a photo of him as a baby. Again, I would have checked all of this as to what I could have and not have in my flat with my back office. And I think a photo of a baby, I think it was about so big, was not considered a problem. He didn't look like the baby at that stage, as far as I can recall.
Being very careful about anonymity, please. Which manager are you saying authorised you to have a photograph of your real son in your accommodation?
I can't remember, sir. These were conversations that would have taken place with the back office.
Did you tell Lindsay that you had lost contact with the boy's mother?
Entirely possible, yes.
And did you ask her for advice about what to do about that?
Well, we would certainly have spoken about it because this formed a part of my legend.
And did you receive advice from her that you must reconnect with her for the sake of the boy?
I'm sure I did, yes.
Would it be fair to say that she was very empathetic about the fantasy that you were describing?
Absolutely, sir. As I've said, whilst I regret and apologise for all these things, this was a nice person. And unfortunately, she met someone who wasn't such a nice person.
The practical effect of telling these lies to a very nice person was that you were weaponising empathy.
Very interesting way to put it, but yes, sir.
For your own benefit.
Yes, sir. I was an undercover police officer deployed to do a tasking, and unfortunately, that's what happened.
DCI Dell, is it right that he assumed command of the SDS in approximately the summer or early autumn of 2001?
My timeline, the way I would describe it, I deployed out to Italy for legend building purposes around that time, and Mr. Dell was in post at that time. So,
sorry, are we talking 2000 or 2001? Because we deploy in 2000.
I was deployed in 2000, but I went out as part of my legend building in 2001. And I think that Mr. Dell was in post by then, so yes.
Does he take over immediately, or is there a phased arrival and handover of responsibility?
I can't recall, sir.
Is it right that he assumes command whilst you are in a sexual relationship with Lindsay?
I can't remember, sir, honestly. If that's what he's saying or is being said, entirely possible, but I cannot remember.
Was one reason why the arrival of DCI Dell was memorable that he made clear at a very early stage of his command that sexual relationships were prohibited?
I don't recall that, sir. I'm sorry.
What was DCI Dell's public line to the unit on that subject?
I don't think I ever had that conversation with him, sir, until a few years later. Certainly his predecessor, but again, it was very much a sort of informal discussion.
A number of witnesses to the inquiry from the SDS have said that a feature of DCI Dell's arrival was that he made clear sexual relationships were prohibited. Is it your evidence that you did not know that?
I recall Mr. Dell arriving, and I think there had been some issues which he sat us down and spoke about it. I didn't pay that much attention to it, sir.
What issues are we talking about?
Well, you've spoken about relationships, but also officers misbehaving, doing things that might be considered serious offences and things like that. But again, I was not party to everything that was going on.
What did he say about sexual relationships?
I think he would have said that the party line was not to happen.
And that if there were any relationships going on, they should stop?
I don't recall that, but entirely possible, yes.
Would it follow from the prohibition that he made that that is what should have happened?
Yes, of course.
Did the tradecraft manual remain in use whilst you were deployed, to your knowledge?
It was definitely in the cupboard, so to speak. It was definitely something that I would have referred to in the early days and in those times, 2000, 2001, yes.
Was it amended?
My memory is that as things might happen, if officers had experienced something, it would get amended and added to.
Do you know whether or not the section on sexual relationships was amended after you deployed?
I don't think it was, no, but again, I cannot say 100%, but I don't believe it was.
Were you in a relationship with Lindsay in circumstances where DCI Dell had clearly prohibited sexual relationships?
Yes, I would say probably I was, yes.
So can I take it that you simply ignored him?
I think I was mindful of it, sir. But yes, ultimately I did ignore.
In what way were you mindful of him?
Well, I felt like I was letting the side down, that I was wrong to be doing what I was doing. But as I've said, and without wanting this to come across as me trying to put any kind of defence up, because it is indefensible, that I was doing what had to be done, and that I had conversations with other supervisors, because we did not speak to our inspectors unless we were getting authorisation to travel or things like that. And it was, you know, as I've said, use your common sense.
Would it be fairer to say you were knowingly doing wrong?
To me, sir, did not seem that cut and dried. I knew I was doing wrong, but I also felt personally that I was doing what needed to be done at that time.
And you were showing a serious failure of willpower by not stopping the relationship.
Yes, sir. Failure of judgment, completely.
Or telling your managers.
As I said, I had mentioned it to supervising ranks, but they were not my inspectors.
When you say it,
what was I to do? This is going
but
on.
not the relationship with Lindsay itself.
I did not mention Lindsay by name, sir, no. Or by, description.
Venice.
Yes, sir.
You went to Venice with Lindsay on a trip which spanned the 17th to the 19th of December 2001. Is that right?
Yes, again, read the dates, but yes, I do recall doing a trip.
Lindsay's evidence is you organised that trip. Is that right?
I can't remember, sir, but again, I'm not going to argue with this.
At short notice?
Again, I can't remember.
Your idea?
I think I had been asked to go out there, sir, read some political stuff, to go out and look around, etc. I think that was a part of my reasons for going. But yes, that was, I think, based around not Venice, another city nearby. But yes.
Which city nearby?
Treviso.
Did you say to Lindsay, I don't just take anyone to Venice?
I can't recall, sir, if I did say that. I'm not arguing with it.
A show of romantic affection?
Yeah.
To emphasise your love for her?
Yeah, I guess so. I would also say people do little trips away all the time, but yes.
You were seeking to sweep her off her feet?
Again, not my words, sir.
I'm not suggesting those were your words. Is that what you were seeking to do?
No, sir. As I say, I was playing the part of a political activist, and, we ended up going away together.
To have some fun with her in Venice?
Sure.
Did you provide the tickets?
I can't remember, sir.
Is it likely that you did?
Again, sir, I can't remember, possibly.
She says you did. Do you disagree?
No, sir. I don't disagree, but I don't agree. I can't remember.
The accommodation was a central location, wasn't it?
It
in Venice.
Would have been in Venice, yeah.
Single bedroom?
Yes.
You flew out together?
Again, I don't remember, sir. I don't think so, but these are not things, I'm afraid, sir, that stick in my memory.
Lindsay's evidence is that it sticks in her memory because she was very affectionate towards you on the plane.
Okay.
As well, somebody might be who had a man who was professing his love to her and telling her that he didn't just take anyone to Venice. Does that ring any bells?
There would have been lots of conversations in that time. I cannot say that I said those words. No.
Do you dispute the proposition that you flew out, just the two of you, to Venice?
No, I don't dispute that at all. I'm saying that I cannot remember exactly, but I don't dispute it.
There were no other activists with you?
No, there was not a group. I from memory, I believe I did meet somebody out there, but again, it I'm afraid, does not figure that large in my memories.
Who did you meet out there? And be careful about anonymity. Write it down if you need to.
I can't remember, so I don't even remember names. I think this, as I said earlier, was some sort of fact-finding thing that I'd been sent out on.
On your own?
Well, no, sir. I've said I was out there with Lindsay.
But who sent you?
At the time, the Socialist Party had a bit to it called the Committee for the Workers International. That was run by a couple of older activists who very much liked the fact that I was a fluent Italian speaker and that I had Italian heritage. And as we go through my deployment, you will see that a number of times I deployed out to that country with different people.
I understand that. What I'm driving at, though, is the nature of this trip with Lindsay to Venice. The proposition I'm putting to you is this was a romantic getaway, wasn't it?
Yes, sir, but also intermingled with political sort of activity, you know, looking at things out there, looking to meet people, things like that. But yes, of course.
I'll come back to the detail of that in a moment. You showed her around Venice?
Yeah, I don't really know Venice, but yes.
You went back to the apartment you were staying in for sex?
Yes, yeah.
Often?
Well, we were there 1 or 2 nights, sir, so in that time, yes.
Lindsay's recollection is that you didn't meet any activists whilst you were over there. Is she right about that?
Well, I've just said that we went out there for an enjoyable time, but part of the reason that I had gone out there was because I'd been asked to head out there.
Did you meet anybody out there?
I can't remember on that occasion. I definitely did on other occasions, yes.
I'm only interested in this occasion.
Okay. On that occasion, I cannot remember. I don't think so. But as I say, I went out to Italy quite a bit during my deployment.
Detective Sergeant Beales was your backup, wasn't he, on this trip?
Yep.
Did you speak to him during the trip?
I can't remember. I think it was tradecraft that we did.
Was he staying in Verona?
I don't know. He would have been around that region, yes.
And would you have spoken to him on your mobile phone?
I think so, yes.
Would you have tried to speak to him on your mobile phone when Lindsay was not present?
Yes, that would have been the sensible thing, yes.
Lindsay says there was a time when she approached you as you were speaking on your phone and you were saying something to the effect of, "She's not here, she's pissed off with me, mate." Was there a time in the weekend where she was pissed off with you?
I can't recall, sir.
Did you say anything to the effect, "She was not here, she's pissed off with me, mate"?
I don't think I did. It seems to me I would necessarily have had that sort of conversation, but I don't know. I can't remember.
What did you tell DS Beales about who you were with?
Well, I don't know, sir. I was out there with an activist. You know, I'm not sure what I told him, really.
Did he know you were there with Lindsay?
You'd have to ask him, sir. I can't recall that.
Can I take it? Well, did you or didn't you say that you were there with your activist girlfriend or words to that effect?
I'm sorry, sir. I can't shed any light on that. I don't recall.
Did DS Beales know that this was a romantic trip for you and Lindsay?
I don't think so. That's, you know, but again, at the same time, I can't really remember the sorts of conversations we would have had at that time.
Surely that's quite an important detail.
Unfortunately, it was not for me at that time, sir.
Well, can I be clear? Were you deceiving your managers as to this relationship, or did they know?
I had made it very clear that I was in a very difficult situation at that time. Was I deceiving DS Bills at that time? I cannot remember. I'm sure at stages, of course I did. But again, I had lots of different supervisors, so it's a little bit difficult to think back all that way and, 100% pinpoint what I said to whom.
I could take you to a series of photographs which show very graphically a romantic weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
away.
I've seen them too.
I don't need to because you accept it.
Yeah,
it was.
sure.
Lindsay's evidence was that at the time she adored the holiday. Is that a fair description of her reaction?
I would agree with that, yes.
Because you had swept her off her feet, hadn't you?
And for that, as I've said, I'm very sorry.
She now feels that she was used for sex. That's unsurprising, isn't it?
Completely unsurprising.
Because you were using her for sex.
Absolutely, yes. Can
we go to the document at tab B46, MPS 527780? Go to page 2. This is dated the 30th of November 2001, so a little bit before the trip. It's signed by Michael Dell, so we know that certainly before you go to Venice, DCI Dell is in post. Authority to travel abroad. DCI Dell is writing to Commander Pierce seeking authority. If we could have the text expanded, and I'll give you a moment to read that.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Socialist Party activists will travel to Italy. The reality was you and Lindsay were going to Venice, wasn't it?
I did not write this, sir. This was written by my inspector. I had no control over what was written in that document.
Would I be right in thinking you must have sought authority to travel abroad?
Yes, of course.
Being very careful about anonymity,
yes,
which managers did you ask for authority to go to Italy in December 2001?
I cannot remember exact people. It would have been initially my sergeants, and then it would have gone up through the chain of command.
Did you speak directly to DCI Dell?
I do not recall speaking to Mr. Dell about this trip. The trip I remember was the previous one referred to there regarding Genoa.
Would you have spoken to DCI Dell?
Not necessarily. We would put the request in via our supervisors, our cover officers. They would generally do the rest. I don't think I would have even seen this at the time. I would have just been told yes, no.
So the procedure is you tell your managers that you want to go abroad, you explain to them why,
Yes, sir.
and then it goes up through the chain of command.
Yes, sir.
As you say, you don't always see the documents.
No, I obviously I have seen this document now and in the last couple of years, but
And
at that time, no.
this misrepresents the reality, because the reality was a romantic trip to Italy with your deceived woman.
I'm very sorry, sir. I cannot remember what I said. I would have gone to my sergeants, I would have talked to them, and that would have been then put up through the chain of command. More than that,
I'm not going to beat around the bush, Mr. Soracchi. Somebody is deceiving somebody along this line. Are you lying to your managers about the reality of the trip to Venice, or are you telling the truth to your sergeant, and your sergeant is deceiving DCI Dell as to the real purpose of the trip?
I am very sorry. I cannot remember, sir. I may have said we're going out, as in a group of us. I may not have. I can't remember, sir. I'm very sorry.
Did you tell any of your managers, I have a girlfriend in my undercover identity, I want to take her for a romantic weekend to Venice, may I do so?
Well, no, because it was not just a romantic weekend to Venice. As I say, when I used to get deployed out, as is written there, following Genoa, etc., a big part of my legend was that I had this Italian connection.
I understand all of that, but not on this occasion.
As I say, sir, I don't recall. I don't think so. I think I did go out there to do something political. Whether it was successful or not, I cannot say.
At the very least, there is a deception as to whether it is with another person or persons.
Absolutely. But again, I did not write this. So,
well, that's what I'm exploring. Did you deceive your managers as to who you were going with, or did they know, and did they put in inaccurate paperwork?
as I've said, sir, I can't remember, sir. I'm very sorry.
Can we now look at page 3, please? This is a page of the travel documents which puts your name and Sergeant Beals's name in, says the reasons for the request are operational, has the flight details to go to Venice via Verona, Venice and Verona. And then we see at the bottom the certification and authorization. Can we expand that, please? I certify this request is in connection with official MPS business. Any additional requirements are set out over leaf. If the cost is recoverable from another organisation, I will arrange for the cost to be recovered as appropriate and notify the FRM. Signature, DCI Dell, 30th of November 01. Countersigned by Commander Pierce. I approve this application in accordance with Special Notice 34 of 98. I confirm the above details are correct. You knew DCI Dell. We've got a witness statement from him.
Absolutely.
We're going to be hearing from him in the summer.
Absolutely.
Was he the kind of man who would sign a false authority for you to travel to Venice?
Not in my opinion, sir, but you would have to ask DCI Dell that question.
We've already heard from Commander Pierce, and are likely to hear from him again. Was he the sort of man who would approve a romantic break in Venice for a deceitful sexual relationship if he had known the truth?
First things first, I still say I was out there maintaining my covert legend and building on that. In answer to the question about Commander Pearce, I did not know him that well.
Are you seriously suggesting that the trip you went on with Lindsay wasn't
So things can be
a romantic break adder?
things can be different things, sir. But absolutely, I was also out there, and I had been asked, as I referred to the Committee for Workers International, to work on Italy, to go out there.
Mr. Soracchi, if you had told DCI Dell, I have got a weary girlfriend, I want to take her to Venice to have a nice break with her, I'll square away the technicalities by meeting an activist. Is that something that DCI Dell would have said, oh, well, right then?
Again, I don't think so, but you would have to speak to him. And certainly, as I say, I was maintaining my cover legend.
And that's not what happened, is it?
In terms of...
You didn't have any such conversation with DCI Dell?
Well, no, I went...
Or with your sergeants, did you?
No, so I did. I spoke with my cover officers. That's why this would have gone in.
And told them that you were going for a romantic weekend with your weary girlfriend, but would square things away by meeting an activist over there?
So I've said this again. I cannot remember exactly what I said, but I would have gone through my line supervisors, and of course, it would be absurd for me to say, yes, I told them this, but I was also going out there to maintain my covert legend.
Can we have page 10, please? These are your expenses for 3 nights, and if we go over the page, says that you flew out from Stansted to Treviso, fare paid, no receipt due to operational circumstances. Is that because it was a receipt for a flight for you and Lindsay?
No, so this I think would have been purely for my flight, looking at that.
So did you book 2 separate flights, one for you and one for Lindsay, on the same, 2 separate tickets on the same flight?
I can't recall, sir, the details of the booking, but again, it would need to be checked, but I don't believe I booked 2 tickets. And looking at that, I don't think that was the case.
Is the reality you would not have handed in 2 tickets because that would have shown that you were going there with Lindsay?
I don't know, sir. I don't think so. I think, at most, I think Lindsay may have paid for her own ticket, but I cannot say that categorically.
Can we go down to the bottom of the page, please? It's signed by you and Sergeant Beales.
Yep.
Your block says, I certify that the above details are correct, and that where refreshment of subsistence allowance is claimed, I was unable to obtain meals in my usual way and incurred additional expense to obtain food. Signed by you.
Yes.
And then Beales says, I am satisfied that the above expenses have been incurred in accordance with regulations. Is it right that no manager acting properly, if informed of the reality of the trip you took with Lindsay, could have authorised this expenditure?
Yes, from what you are saying, but again, as I say, part of my reason for doing that trip was to continue with my legend building.
And is the reality that you misled Sergeant Beales into signing for something he should not have signed for?
I cannot remember what Sergeant Beales knew at that time, sir, but entirely possible, yes.
I'll put this very bluntly. Were you obtaining the funds to partially support this trip to Venice by deception?
No, absolutely not. This, as I say, my reasons for this trip were to keep maintaining my legend.
We have no intelligence reports from this trip to suggest that you met anybody out there. Why is that?
Because, as I've just said, it was out there to build and maintain my legend, sir.
We've looked at some reports this morning which you said were in the course of legend building.
Yes.
The reality is there is no report because you didn't meet anybody over there?
So I do believe that I may have done reporting on this. What happened to reports that I put in? Again, I can't answer those questions, I'm afraid.
Could we have your witness statement, please, at 35550, page 95. Paragraph 194. This is your witness statement to the inquiry.
Yep.
I did travel to Italy when in my cover role on an occasion when Lindsay was also there. The reason for my trip to Italy was linked to SP and MP. I think we spent one night together. The document, and you refer to the authorisation. Mm-hmm. Purpose was for SP activists to hold discussions with Italian activists of similar leanings. I think I was asked to attend by SP because I could speak Italian.
Yes, sir.
Those last two sentences are untrue, aren't they?
No, sir. No, sir. I as I've said, I continually had discussions with members of the Socialist Party who were part of the International, and this was something that was spoken about all the time. I think at that time I might have been one of the few people, maybe one other, who was able to speak in Italian and to carry on conversations.
There were not SP activists on this trip, were there? They were with you and Lindsay.
Yes, sir.
So what you've written in your inquiry witness statement is untrue, isn't it?
No, sir, because, as I say, both myself and Lindsay were activists. We went out there, but what am I? I was asked to go out to try and meet people that might be like-minded and similar to us. And that's what I did. This was all part of the legend building that I was doing.
So it's a deliberate lie, Mr. Soracchi, what you've written in these two sentences?
I would not say it's a deliberate lie, sir. I would say I probably said it wrong, but as I say, I can't argue with this, but that is not what my intention was, sir.
So is that a convenient time to rise?
In one moment. When you refer to Socialist Party activists to hold discussions with Italian activists of similar leanings,
yes, sir.
Who were the Socialist Party activists who were going to hold those discussions with Italian activists?
I was asked to be the representative, as I could speak Italian, and as I say, I can write the names down that I can recall. These were quite senior activists within the Socialist Party. What was called the...
Forgive me, in your witness statement, these are your words, the purpose was for Socialist Party activists, plural, to hold discussions with Italian activists
Yes.
of similar leanings.
Yes.
You are, as I understand it, one of the Socialist Party activists.
Yes, sir.
And what I want to know is, were there others, and if so, who they were, and would you write them down if you can say?
I understand what you're saying, sir. I think I do. These were not people that accompanied me. I went out there on their behalf. I'm happy to write down the people I had these discussions with before I left London, because this was all after Genoa, and there were other trips out there.
So the purpose was for you,
Yes.
a single individual,
Yes.
to hold discussions with Italian activists
Yes.
on behalf of a number of Socialist Party
Yes.
activists, the others of whom, apart from yourself, remained in England.
Yes, indeed. They were senior members of the Socialist Party. And as I say, they were looking for someone that could speak the language. to my knowledge at that time, there was one other person within the Socialist, two others within the Socialist Party, but they could not do that kind of trip. As I was at that time a tradesman, it was, would you be able to spare the time? I did not say no to that, because even then I was still trying to build and maintain my legend, and the Italian connection seemed like a really good idea.
Did you make any contact with Italian Socialist Party activists or Italian activists of a similar frame of mind before you went?
I can't remember, sir, with this occasion, but I definitely did in my time there.
No. But on this occasion is what I'm concerned with.
I'm sorry, sir, I can't remember.
Did you meet any?
Yes, I'm sure we did.
No. On this occasion?
I'm sure we did, but I cannot say 100% categorically.
Lindsay has said categorically that you didn't.
Well, I'm afraid we will have a difference of opinion.
So your evidence is that you met one or more Italian activists in Venice on this trip.
As I say, sir, I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly. I spent a number of different trips going out to Italy, sometimes on my own, other times with people. Yeah, entirely possible. Lindsay came with me on this trip, and yes, it was pleasure as well. But I did go out there for legend building purposes.
I'm trying to understand whether you met any Italian activists on this trip in Venice on one of these 3 days.
As I've said, I'm very sorry, sir, I cannot remember 100% categorically if that was the case.
Thank you. We will resume at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
I'm afraid that you have at least another 2 days to go.
Absolutely fine, sir. No problem at all.